All right, we've got another Ash interview with Plarium. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen one of these. I don't know when the last one was, but we're going to check it out today. Now, this is a pretty long one, so I'm going to kind of skim through the chapters here, and I'm only going to click on the ones that I'm particularly interested in. If you haven't seen the interview yet somehow, and you want to hear about the parts, one, you want to hear about it without me interrupting it, and two, you want to hear about the stuff that I don't click on. It'll of course be linked below, but I kind of want to go through and just check out the stuff I'm interested in. So let's check out the intro, and then we'll bounce around a little bit and see what we got going on and give any thoughts we have on it.
Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined by the lovely Cirilla, community manager lead at Plarium. Cirilla, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. It's been a minute. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me, and hi everyone.
We have the hard-hitting questions first here, okay? Who's your favorite champion in the game so I can highlight them in the background?
Oh, interesting.
Don't know what I was expecting.
Because I never know what to do in the background of these interviews. I'm like, Fire Knight? So who you got?
Oh, first I thought it was a really tough choice. I mean, we already have like more than 800, I think,
Yeah, there's already way too many.
champions in the game.
Not really.
They keep coming.
They keep coming.
They keep coming, dude.
Just damn hard to pick one. I'm gonna say Bigun.
Bigun. That was my first legendary.
Yeah, that mine too.
Whoa.
No, actually, mine was I forget her name. She was then
I think it was Ray.
Rebalanced and became stronger, and nobody still cares about
Wasn't her first Ray or Queen Eva? Am I remembering that correctly?
her, but whatever.
War Mother.
No. Really, I forgot.
Tila? Tila Gourmet?
No, I really forget.
I think her first was like Ray or Queen Eva.
Okay.
She's wearing a mask.
She is?
And
Valkyrie?
she was really weak at first.
She's a legendary?
She's a legendary. She was rebalanced, and then
faction? You got a faction for me? This is a fun game.
It is.
Dark Elves?
Oh, Astrolith. Astrolith.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Nice.
She is cool. And she has a Salt Leader where she fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% on her A1, which is really cool. I think that she's a good call out. She's a sleeper.
She was my first legendary, but then I got Bigun and didn't care about anyone else. And I'm still using him a lot just because like he's a family. I can't just abandon a family.
Well, you know what? We're running a little blender in the background, so Biggin fits in beautifully there if I have him built. So he can join the blender comp of Farrakhan and Skullcrown and Tormund while we talk. So we didn't hear, as much as this is great, riveting for me at least. We're not here to talk about to play the guessing game of Cirilla's favorite champion. We're here to talk about all things. I actually wanted to kind of throw to you, know, Primal Shards.
So yeah, this first section is one I'm of course interested in: Primal Shards and mythical champs. Let's see what we got going on here.
I have a billion questions, but why don't you just tell me, or start wherever you want to start, whatever you kind of want to open this this chat up with.
We've been monitoring what people have been saying about the mythical champions and how the community has been really hyped up about the whole thing. So we thought that we might have had a bit of a falling out in terms of communicating the whole feature and probably properly addressing the issue of introducing these champions into the game and fitting them into the whole like system. So we thought we would talk about this in the video, and that might come across better than we would like, you know, just throw out a text format of explanation somewhere. Where I wanted to start is from the changes that we implemented last week into the game,
over like this, but
which had to do with the modifications to the mercy system involving mythical champions, and then we reduced the price for shards, for primal shards, by adding them to regular offers. I don't think how regular they are, considering the fact that they just have been introduced into the game. But
Gotcha.
My message is that this is not it, and we have a whole array of other things that we would like to happen in the game that would improve the feature.
These interviews are tough sometimes because, like, she's not making any of the decisions, and she can only say what she can say. She has to come on and speak from a position of, like, from a position of agreeing with what is going on, because she's the representative, right? She's the representative of the company. So she can't come on, even if she thinks it, she can't come on and be like, it's really stupid the way that we're doing this. So sometimes it's tough to listen to her kind of have to defend some of this stuff, or talk about it as though, like, we received feedback, so we started to lower the prices. As though that's not the plan, as though that's not the way they do it every single time they release something else into the game that has monetary components to it. Like, that's the way it works. They drop something overly expensive, and when they stop making the, like, when the initial whale milking is done, they lower the price. That's not new. That's the way that they do it. So it's aggravating to continue to hear, like, we did this and we received some feedback and we decided to make adjustments. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's not what they did.
Thank you.
They did the same thing
just
they always
touching on
do.
the communication. Obviously, I've been talking to BJM a bit behind the scenes and stuff like that, and I know you've seen the community feedback. So, wanted to thank you again. Whether it's good news or bad news or any news or whatever, just love when there's an open line of comms. So again, I really appreciate you coming on here and answering some of the questions that we do have regarding mythical champions and primal shards. I got to ask the first question that comes to mind, and that is 2x primals, but no 2x mythicals. Are you going to be doing any 2x mythicals? Because I'm not going to shave until you guys do.
Me too.
Is that a no?
The short answer is not yet, because there simply are not too many mythical champions in the game for now. We will keep gradually releasing them, and then consider.
I don't know what that's got to do with anything. What does giving us a 2x chance to pull one have to do with the amount of them? It's not. I don't think that matters. It's still sectioned off by rarity. It's not like I would understand not doing a 10x if they didn't want to do that because there's not enough, because they really don't want a 10x to have an impact, clearly. That's why they haven't increased the odds of 10x, even though they've exponentially increased the amount of champions in the game. So I get from Plarium's perspective why they wouldn't do a 10x. 2x doesn't matter. Has nothing to do with how many. It doesn't matter if there's only one, right? All you're doing is increasing the odds that I get one. So that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Launching some kind of an event like that.
And again, that is not shade to Cirilla. Cirilla has to say what Cirilla has to say. She has to answer the questions as Plarium answers the questions. Does that make sense?
So it's not a hard no. It's just not yet.
Okay, so there's just, okay, I mean, we can move on, but essentially there's only, what is there, 6 or something right now? Or so it feels like, 5, 6.
Yes.
So you just don't want everybody to get them, basically. you don't want everybody to collect them all, and then there's no reason to to want primal shards, basically.
It's a bad question, but yeah, it's just give us a little bit more time, and let us just pour more of them into the world of Plarium, and then
again, that's an answer to the 10x question, which there is no 10x question. That's not an answer to the 2x question.
Is like that is going to happen.
So mythical champions generally
what the real answer, what she's kind of saying without saying it, is the real answer is kind of what Ash just said. We want you as the least likely as possible to get them, because the numbers haven't dipped quite low enough yet on red shard sales. When enough people stop buying red shards, when enough people buy red shards and get rare champs from it and get sick of it, and the sales for the red shards dip, then they'll start to drop that more enticing. Well, now there's a 2x for red shards. Now there's actually a 2x mythical champ. So now it might be worth buying them again. You know what I mean? That's all it's driven by. That's all it's driven by, dude.
Speaking,
It's so
do you look at that
obvious.
update as a success so far? What do you think? Some people are like, wow, they're very underwhelming. Others are like, oh, they're you know, they're interesting, but they're not. They don't. Their OP-ness does not justify the cost, I guess.
Penis. He said penis.
And then others are saying kind of ignoring them until the prices can come down. Again, you have had some movement in the Mercy and the cost in that direction. Others are like, I don't want to open a Primal Shard in, you know, because I could get a rare champion that's a campaign farmable. So there's all sorts of opinions out there. Mythical champions, should they be better than they are?
Well, we hear and see a lot of opinions. They differ. Some players are saying that they should be OP. Others are saying that no, they shouldn't. We ourselves are leaning more toward the thought that they shouldn't undermine all the years of
100%.
progress that players have been making in the game.
I think again, I think the implementation of the champs is fine. I don't think they should. It's a great way to put it. Undermine the years of building and development in the game and all of the legendaries currently. They shouldn't just erase. It shouldn't become about mythical champions. But they should be noticeably strong. They should be stronger. They should bring something that that legendary champions don't bring. There should be something that's going to make your gameplay experience very different with every one of them you get. And I think that the morphing mechanic and the new mechanics that they bring, I think they did a pretty good job in that aspect. They should be fun and different, stronger, but they shouldn't completely. You shouldn't get one and be 2 tiers up in arena, for example, necessarily. You know what I mean? It should be. I think they did a pretty good job of implementing the champs.
What we wanted to do, our main intention was to expand this pool of possibilities to play with the metamorph mechanics of these champions. So no, we don't think that they should be too overpowered, and this is why we are not we're not letting develop 2 sets of artifacts, because that would bring them obviously closer to being too good. Well,
what did you say? 2 sets of artifacts?
Yeah.
OP again.
Like power
for each form. Okay.
Everybody in the game, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll just keep gradually
that would be wild.
releasing them, not with at a very fast pace, like 1-2 per month. We think would be enough, but we will do them not with at a very fast pace, like 1. And we'll just keep gradually releasing them.
Releasing them.
Really important. We'll be introducing more ways to actually get champions in the game by, throwing in more resources.
Okay, you mean like quartz and stuff like that? Is that what you're referring to, basically?
Yeah, there are a couple of places
but what does that mean?
We are not considering already.
Some other events and tournaments that don't have them yet? Or like actually?
This has been discussed and
Doom Tower?
in development and will soon appear in the game. So the Hydra Clash. First, we are going to add more primal quartz in chests. And also, we're thinking about adding mythical tomes.
There should be more
to those chests.
But like,
for now, you can get them.
Like, you've got to do something for the people that don't do Hydra, that don't want to do Hydra. You can't keep bullying your players into playing this mode that apparently is not fun enough for enough people, or is too time consuming for a lot of people. You're going to have to give your people some other way to play this game or participate in this system.
Soon, the Hydro Clash itself will become more appealing because you'll be able to get more quartz from the chests.
It's not how that works.
Also, the question that may follow is about the cadaver.
That was my next question.
That I don't care about. If you want to hear about that, you can click the link below. I am going to go to the permanent mythical fusion.
Give players more resources to build mythical champions from. We are also going to introduce that permanent fusion.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
about
This is some juicy
time.
info.
Similar to
Okay.
rosin.
Because like for as heavily as they've leaned into fusions, for as long as they have, the idea that rosin was the last permanent fusion we got, and they've I think they made some tweak. No, they didn't make tweaks to Broadmon. They buffed Broadmon, made him better. But like the idea that we have gotten 0 permanent fusions is pure insanity. Pure insanity. So that's
Sorry,
that's
go
good to
ahead.
hear.
Yeah.
Similar to rosin. Yeah.
No.
Be nice. You don't have to.
Dude, I just thought that what's a mythical fusion going to be? We're going to be making legendaries to put into that, right?
Agree with her, but at least let
Are we going to have to fuse 4 rosins to get the mythical?
her finish her sentences.
So now we already have a permanent fusion for Epic, and then for Rosin, and this one's going to be for a mythical champion. And of course, it is suffice to say that it's not going to be easy. Well, because it is a mythical champion.
You're going to fuse with 4 rosins.
It will be just introducing a lot of ways for players to be able to build the champion over time.
Okay. Wow. That's good news. Was that
Because they're not going to put other legendaries in it. I would be very surprised if they put other legendaries in it and they gave you access to more legendaries like that. So it's probably going to be 4 rosins. So maybe it's going to be a Lizard Man mythical to kind of maybe fit a theme. That's my guess.
champion, the permanent mythical fusion that's coming to the game? First of all, any idea when? Are we talking like in a couple of weeks? Or are we talking like by the end of the year? Or, any idea at all there?
From what I know, it's like by the end of the year, definitely, but
Yeah.
probably.
It's also a couple months.
No,
Not like right away.
actually, it's next week.
Oh,
So,
well, golly. Okay. So a permanent fusion that's going to be hard to get. Mythical champion.
You may have already seen it. Her. Maybe.
Okay, so it's going to be one of the Halloweens then. It's going to be one of the Halloweens. No? Okay.
You'll see.
First of all, 2 questions. Part 1 is, you guys keep saying in your little update videos on the YouTube channel that there's going to be all this new hard content coming and you're going to need these champions, guys, and blah, blah, blah. And you also dropped the line of like, don't worry, we're going to give you a free mythical champion.
Yeah.
So where's that freebie? Is that the fusion? Is that the permanent fusion that
It
you're
better not
referring
be.
to, or is there another freebie? I'm still waiting on my free
Yeah.
mythical. Cirilla.
Keep waiting, bitch.
Before I forget, we also know that one of the mythical champions desperately needs to be looked at. This is Siegfried. His survivability needs like a rework, and we're looking in that direction.
Okay.
As for other ways to get a free champion, there's some huge content coming up. And
Okay.
we are looking to
How big? What
get
does
it
that
out
mean?
by
What does
the end
huge
of the
content
year,
mean?
if all goes well.
By the end of the year, it's October.
So this
We're
is
pretty much there.
even bigger than the Doom Tower.
Whoa!
It's going to provide a lot of
You
content.
gave me my title, Cirilla. Even bigger than Doom Tower.
Really a lot of content.
Wow.
to
What does that
come.
Holy
mean?
moly! Even bigger,
Bigger
than
how?
Doom Tower. Wow, you're getting my juices flowing here. This is exciting news.
Similar to how you can get Lydia from Faction Wars,
Yeah.
you can also get a mythical champion in this area of the content.
What could it be? What haven't they done? Huh? What haven't they done?
What area did you say again? What was it?
No.
It was worth a try.
You will see in good time. It's just that we want to let it out into the world by dressing it in a proper format. You know how we make all those great videos with wonderful visuals.
Bigger
and,
than Doom Tower,
yes.
huh?
sneak peeks.
So you're taking
this
shots at yours truly. I get it. I
I
get it.
don't really want to spoil that.
I'm not fancy enough for you. I get it, to break
Yeah.
the news. So we got something bigger. I can't believe you said bigger than Doom Tower. That is lofty, Cirilla. That is lofty.
Yeah, what does
because
that
Doom
mean?
Tower is the best update you guys have ever came out
Y
with, in
rares
the
and
opinion
primal
of yours truly.
shards.
Primal Shards.
Great.
Why do you include rares in Primal Shards? People really did not like the rares being included.
Sacred shards are still like the best. They should be the best. And
Okay.
then void shards and mythical shards, they should be approximately of the same value. It's just that they provide different champions in terms of how they could be utilized in the game.
That in and of itself is fine. That conceptually, I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with the hype behind the new shard and the emphasis on mythical champions. I have a problem with the way it was all delivered, and then your means of obtaining these champions are awful, right? They if that's how they felt about it, I feel like that's how they should have delivered it from the beginning. They shouldn't have gotten everybody so excited about mythical champs in this new red shard that you pull them from, and then basically drop a red ancient with a small asterisk of a bonus on it. And like over time, we'll adjust. Like we're adjusting to what the shard actually is. It just wasn't delivered in that way. It was delivered in a very hype, very get your hopes up way, and then it's like, oh, and here's this shitty new shard that isn't really that special. And I guess in a way, it does feel a lot like a void shard, because the void shard could be so amazing, but it's probably not going to be. It's actually void shard's better on it than a mythical shard.
And
So
we didn't want from the
primal
start,
shard,
we didn't
whatever.
want primal shards to, cannibalize the importance of the sacred shards.
Okay, I understand that. I'm not gonna lie, it was a big bummer to see the rares and be like, and my first primal was a war maiden Cirilla, and I'm like, campaign farmable rare.
That's really painful.
So that really sucks. But at the same time, I guess one way to think about it is like, man, if there were no rares, it'd be a lot more premium, let's say, expensive, aka. But you did say in the initial post.
I remember I was guessing $50 a shard before I knew rares. I figured it would be a sacred. I figured it would be a sacred with a potential for a bonus, and I was expecting $50 a shard. And then eventually, I think we're going to get a guaranteed legendary shard, and that's going to be $100 a shard. I think that's how that's going to go.
For now, you said we're not going to include voids in primals for now. Is that something that you're just like, it's imminent that voids will someday be added, or is that
Let's talk about the update real quick.
Geez, I'm trying to think. Is there any way I can get anything out of her, guys? Is there anything? Am I missing something here?
One tiny question. Tell me, do you demons bleed?
I think that in terms of the new content.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Just something I thought of. It's not Great Void.
Okay, it's not Great Void.
It's not the Void Tower that everyone has been talking about. It's something else.
What about Great Void?
No, don't get me there.
Okay, the only things in the game right now that are hidden still, 4 or 5 years after the game was launched, is the last faction and the Great Void that I can think of, unless I'm missing something. And
they're full of surprises.
They're both surprises. It's Great Void. That's been in there for a long time, Cirilla. It's been in there for a long one. Is it going to be?
It's not that yet.
Okay. I made
what's it gonna be?
Let me I asked you as much as I can about the new content. We'll have to wait and see. I do want to ask you this. I want to ask you about
epic rare empowerment. I think is the last thing I want to hear. Oh, Clan Wars.
Unbelievably studious students of the game, I should say. Like Saf, it comes to mind, from HH Gaming Network. Like, man, that guy is insane the way he looks at the next level. So it'd be cool, not just Saf, but other people like him, if you started taking their feedback a little bit in terms of suggestions and whatnot, that could properly balance some of these champions without making them broken or disrupting the balance of the game. So that's cool. This is a massive one, Cirilla, and I don't know if you have an answer for it, but speaking of epics and rares, do you guys think there's any plans to allow empowerment there as well at any point in the future?
No, I don't think there's an answer for that.
Well, I feel like I have to ask, because that's like the number one thing. Well, not the number one. I'm always rambling about everything, right?
Because why not? I don't understand why not. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Why? I don't know why they
But
wouldn't do
that's
that.
one that I think would just be so cool, right? All right, so I have to ask you one more time. Any other hints? We talked about the big feature that's bigger than Doom Tower. Any other hints at any new content coming to the game? Maybe, maybe either that feature or anything else, that you're planning, that you're working on roadmap wise.
Well, yeah, one other huge thing is clan
It's
wars.
about
And there are
time.
not going to be anything like the current CVC tournaments, clan versus clan tournaments that we
good.
have right
It's
now.
about time.
It is something completely different. And because this is a very complex feature, we don't want to rush with, anything. We have to really thoroughly work on every single detail and make sure that it's done really well before we release it. But this is something that we're working on actively. Yes.
This is insane. Okay. So to be clear, the Clan Wars, which I've been asking for since I started playing this game, I think I think a Clan Wars done right could give another 5 years of life, if not
And it's
more,
real late. That's the thing too. I've been talking about it, like he said, since I started playing the game, and it's like I hope it's not too late for that.
to Raid Shadow Legends. That social dynamic is so huge,
Agreed.
So to be clear, that Clan Wars was not the same big feature that you were talking about earlier.
No, it's something else.
Is that? Do you think that's going to be this year, or is that kind of TBD on Clan Wars?
It is next year.
Next year. Okay.
Sure.
Probably Q1.
Yeah, no commitments on that one, but
Okay.
yeah, next year.
Well, I'm old, so I'm patient. I don't know how my viewers will feel like, but as long as I know it's coming, and I would even, this was going to be unpopular to say with some of my audience, but I would encourage you guys to delay as long as you have to.
Make sure
to
that's
nail
right.
it, to your
That's
point,
when you
because
can't
I feel like
screw
that's
up,
something
man.
that the balance needs to be there. Everything needs to be there for it to, because if it's awesome,
We don't know what
that will be
format they're
huge.
thinking.
If it's
Probably
not, it will be
3v3.
a big disappointment, right? So
3v3
anyway,
is pretty
anything that I
standard.
didn't ask you about, this is my
Not, let me be clear, not like Tag Team Arena 3v3, but like actual teams of 3. 3 champions versus 3 champions. All right, I reckon the rest of that I'll probably watch on my own time. If you want to see any of the sections that I didn't cover in the video, of course, his is linked below. You've certainly seen his by now, though. But yeah, it's a good interview. He's a good interviewer. He's good at asking follow-up questions kind of on the fly. Sometimes if it takes an unexpected route, he's good at trying to get more information out of her. So it's a fun interview. Again, shout out to Cirilla for doing. It's cool that they do that. I wonder if she'll be making the rounds. I know sometimes they kind of make the rounds and do interviews on other people's channels and stuff after they do one on Ashes. It seems like that's usually how it goes. But either way, pretty interesting stuff. I'm very curious about what could be coming that's bigger than Doom Tower. I'm trying to think about what I've played, like what stuff I've done in other games that Raid doesn't have or hasn't touched on yet. And I'm blanking. There might be some stuff, and I'm blanking. It's still relatively early in the morning for me, but I don't know. Maybe that sort of AFK style endless progression system that's kind of like the campaign in some games, more like Eternal Evolution, where there's no repeatable stage. You just progress indefinitely, and they continue to add stages as time. Maybe something like that. Some games have like a challenge system where there's a stage that's a particular scenario, and they get harder as you progress through them. So it's similar to a Doom Tower structure, but like you have to beat it in this many turns with this type of champ, and like there's certain stipulations to get to 1, 2, or 3 stars, and you progress through those. Again, if you've got any ideas that I'm not talking about here, I'd be interested in hearing what kind of stuff you're seeing in other games. Maybe some of these new games that I haven't checked out yet have some systems. Then Plarium saw them and was like, let's jump on that. So I don't know. If you get any ideas, I'm interested. But I'm gonna get out of here. Again, if you want to see the whole interview and see the stuff I didn't talk about here, click the link to his video below. And that's it. I'm getting out of here. Hopefully they reconsider the epic and rare empowerment. I don't know why you wouldn't let us do that too. That's it. I'm out of here. Later, guys.